the Lord will provide. And it is said, on the mountain of the Lord it will be provided. So say the ancient scriptures. So it is. They say that mountain of the Lord was right here, where the temple now stands. Here I've seen the Lord provide for me all my years. I was just a young girl when I married. We had 7 wonderful years together, my husband and I. And then, widowed, while still a young woman. No son to care for, no son to care for me. No prospects of remarrying. I would have been destitute. I would have starved. But God provided. I felt the Lord telling me to go to the temple. I came to the priest without really knowing why. He said he'd just been thinking they needed a woman for the cleaning and mending. Well, I quickly agreed to do the work, thanking God for his grace. The priest gave me a room in the temple, and I've been here ever since. I've never had much money, but I've always had enough. When my clothes began to wear out, someone gave me new ones. God provided. My home is the house of God. Here, I can worship day and night. Ya-da-da-da-da-da. Smelling the incense, hearing the prayers of penitence and songs of the truth. I've seen so many people coming and going, desperate as I was, for God's provision. So many who need healing from a crippling disease. So many who long to be free from shame and guilt. So many searching for God's guidance. God provides. Sometimes I had a vision from the Lord, and I'd share with those people a word of hope. Sometimes God has given me instruction, always simple and direct. One afternoon, while I was preparing my evening meal, I heard the Lord quietly speaking to me. I could hardly sleep that night as I basked in the joy and wonder of the words of the Lord. The call to intercession in my life grew more and more intense. I soon realized powers and principalities were raging over Israel. Night after night I slept very little. I could only look to the Lord and trust him as the battle I felt inside grew. I knew God would provide. Suddenly, everything was still and quiet, and a deep peace flooded my entire being. I thought I must be dreaming. What has happened, Lord? I stood up, and I stepped outside in the cool of the evening. There, in the east, a star so bright it illuminated the whole city. The glory of God seemed to be everywhere. I knew the course of history had been changed. God had provided. The next few days were a blur of joy and excitement, mingled with deep, restful sleep. One morning, as I prepared for my day, I heard the voice of Simeon in the temple. Well, I knew he would only be here if the Holy Spirit had directed him. I peered around the corner, and there was Simeon standing with a young couple. And he was prophesying over their baby. Could this really be? As I came forward, the young mother handed me her baby, and her eyes locked. A fire burned in my heart as I held that tiny infant. He was so ordinary. And yet, he seemed to be speaking to me. I am the bread of life. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the true vine. I am the good shepherd. I am the way, the truth, and the life.